Asda everyday tissues. For when you need a tissue every day.
Hello there, welcome to another Unexpected Live. I don't know where these unexpected lives are coming from at the moment, but I've just been editing a video, and I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with that video, and it is currently uploading as a members only video. So if you're wanting to see this said video before other non-members, you have to become a member. But even if you're not a member, it'll be out in the 1st of February, I think. So you've not got long to wait. So I just thought I'd do a random live while I'm riding the crest of a video high. So already we've got, at this giddy time of 9:20, we've got Matt from Stickman TV, and he says, "You shall not pass." He doesn't. He just says hello, really. Alex doesn't even dispense with the niceties. She's straight into business with, "I'm at work." Well, that's good for you, Alex. And I hope the Lava fan's nice and warm for you. Mark Badbook says, "Good evening, Unexpected Simon. Good evening, Unexpected Mark. Hope you're well." Beards and Bangers. Rob to his friends and his enemies, says, "Well, hello there. Hello there, Rob. Hope you're doing well. And I hope I know you've had a busy week so far. So I'm hoping you're preparing yourself for a relaxing weekend, and possibly a bit of excitement next week. Bit of excitement. Simon Easton says, "I've just woken up." And then Rob says, "Well, morning, Simon," to Simon Easton. Simon Easton, I have just finished editing the Dolomite video, and it will be on YouTube. Why have I got them on? It will be on YouTube as a members only video shortly. I don't know how long it takes YouTube nowadays to render into high def, so it might still be crappy standard def at the moment, but yeah, it should be high definition very shortly. Gaz on the track is here. He goes, "Do I get no peace?" Unfortunately not, Gaz, no. You have to put up with another live tonight. And also welcome. But before we go on to anything else, which I've not got anything planned, so I don't know why I'm saying that, I thought I'd just share with you this the pictures, because I saw this in the flesh. Now, when was it? It might have been at the beginning of last year. It might have been at the restoration show. I think that's when it was. It was either at the restoration show at the beginning of last year or at the classic car show at the end of the year before. I can't remember which one. Oh, probably the year before, judging when this article came out, which was July 23. So I'll just share this. I'm going to put that on the screen from Gaz. Well done. Well, I'm glad we saved you from a few seconds of misery. Right, let me present to you the pictures of this car. Here we are. So this is the concept of TR25. So it's sort of, I think this one's an EV, but it's sort of a modern take on a Triumph TR car. Yeah, if you notice, it's got 25 in the headlights here, which I think is pretty cool. If I remember the backstory correctly, it's the design house that did something or other. We're celebrating 25 years of the design house, so this was sort of how they celebrated it. Now, maybe I should keep my opinions to myself until the end of it on there. So this is a sort of front left shot, and there's some. If you didn't know what it was based on, you'd know that was based on the TR car. It's got that TR front end to it. It is a very nice car. I'm not sure about the wheels, but we'll gloss over them. And then we've got the back. The back end is very rakish. Little splitter parts here and here, which have got lights in them, which is tray cool. And then look at that inside. That screams sports car to me. That screams sports car. I mean, steering wheel's not wrong bloody side of the car, but apart from that, and then what we've got a side profile, so it just shows you how squat and low it is. Don't look like there's any suspension on this one. And it's got the kind of throwback to the like half doors as well that Triumph sports cars used to have, where you still had to step over a large part of the bodywork to get in, but you had like a half door, which is kind of like an old British sports car staple, I suppose. Like Morgan's were kind of like that. This is it from front. I'm assuming that there is another seat here, and this panel comes away, or maybe it doesn't, but it should do. Oh, look at that! I just really like that whole chunk of it. Oh, and it's a scissor door as well. Although that's on the right-hand side there, so what's going on? Hang on, it's on the right-hand side there, but the left-hand. Oh no, that is the right-hand side. I'm being a dumpling. That's the left-hand side. Okay, forget about it being left-hand drive. Look at that. That I like, and I like this little. Well, should we call it a hump? Because generally they'd be aerodynamic aids, wouldn't they, on older cars, an older racing car, should I say, and doubling up as a bit of an air intake. But yeah, on this one, it's just going to be a look. But it's nice that it's in sort of like a matte black colour. I wonder what it'd look like if it were part of the car colour. Again, yeah, very very square looking on there. That's another view with the doors up. So there's this central spine. Where's that? It must be under this bit. So there's a central spine that runs down the middle of it, which you can see there, which is kind of cool. A bit like the Batman car from the 60s thing. There we go from the front again, and then oh, look at that! There it says 25, and there's like the little Triumph logo-y type thing there. I do like that. I for some reason that really appeals to me. That kind of little simple dashboard. And look at that seat. It's weird because it kind of looks modern and it looks retro at the same time. It's got that kind of textures to it that make it look a bit retro. Oh, and there's an artistic view. Now, I can only assume that these are switches, these bits here, and they're underneath that central barrier, which is quite a cool idea. I like that. Well, and that's all the pictures we've got. So yeah, this was July 23 that these pictures were put out. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. 13th July 23. And it's the TR25 concept. So I kind of like that. And then it kind of brings up the question. Are all EVs as a concept themselves bad? I mean, I know they are. That. I'm not really asking that question because I really like the styling on that. Whether it'd stand the test of time, I'm not sure. But I do really like it as a concept. They're the kind of thing that when you see them in their promotional shots and where they're driving through a big open city with no other cars on the road and there's big posh clean high rises everywhere, you think, oh yeah, that's cool. And then it goes out of the city and onto some country roads and you see it handling dynamically around all the twisty turns and stuff. You think, oh yeah, they've really done the job there. But I can also imagine, specifically with the amount of travel that seems to be on the suspension on that one, which is zero, that they'd be awful on country roads and stop starting in city traffic. It just do your head in. So I think the kind of thing when they do prototypes like that, they kind of, obviously they will do, try and sell the idea on a perfect world, but you never get to drive them in that perfect world. And maybe that's just a modern thing of car adverts these days, because ever since loads of legislation came in that you can't try and sell a car on its speed and how fast it can go and stuff, because authorities or people that are in charge of these regulations seem to be too worried that people are too thick to realise that you shouldn't speed around in a car at 1,000,000 miles an hour, because that's against the law. Even if the advert shows you can do 155 miles an hour, that's more than double the speed limit on a motorway, so you can't do that in real life. We seem to be in a bit of a nanny state with stuff like that, which is a bit peculiar. Because I remember when adverts used to show excitement to do with cars, and it used to be about the car. And now I can guarantee if you watch a car advert, 9 out of 10 of them will not tell you anything about the car. It'll show you someone being happy driving the car. It'll show you them having friends. It'll show you them being super cool and in with the times owning that car. It might tell you about the internal features of that car, but it'll not tell you anything about what it's like to drive. The whole ownership of the car and the driving of the car seem to be two completely different things nowadays. There doesn't seem to be that many cars today that you would buy for the pleasure of driving them. It seems to be you would buy them because of it can connect to your phone and you can play iTunes, or you can set it to warm up automatically before you go to work, or you can check on your phone to see how much charge there is in it. I mean, you still got to plug the bloody thing in. What's happened to wireless charging for cars? Why is that not a thing? That should be a thing. There should be a thing for that. What's worse than that I can imagine, because I've never been in this situation, is pissing it down with rain. You get home and you have to plug your car in to charge. So you're having to faff about getting a cable out of somewhere, plugging it in the rain, and then starting it charging. Why have we not got big pads that are on the floor, just big induction pads? You drive your car over it and then it starts charging. There's got to be a way of doing it. There's got to be a way of doing it. It's not new technology. It's induction. Induction's worked for many a year. Anyway, enough about EVs. Let's see who else is joined in. Pingu's here. Greetings, funky presenter on interweb. Greetings, Pingu, and I hope you've had. I keep thinking it's Saturday. It's not Saturday. I hope you've had a lovely Friday. Oh, look, it's like a baby future Jaguar. It is exactly that. At least there's loads of room for a V8. This does seem to be plenty of room in there. How art thou, Gen Z? I am not telling you. You will have to watch. Oh, when's that video out? Is it next Wednesday? I think it's out on Wednesday, that one, Pingu. I'll not spoil it, but I do a thorough walkthrough of fault finding and finding the problem with Gen Z, and then a startup. So yeah, don't worry. She does start, but you have to experience the video to find to note the trauma and the disappointment that I suffered on the journey. That's all I'm going to say. Udrich says, "Hey up." Hey up, or judge. I've not got my glasses on. It's a bit fuzzy, but not appealing to me. It's a bit oh, the Triumph. Pingu says bonsoir. I hope everyone is well, says Stickman TV, and we also hope that you are well, Matt. Matt is, as you may know, without car at the moment, but by the sounds of it, not for much longer. So yes, that might be another collection caper video that we go into. Simone is here. Hello, Simone. And Simone is, if you have not heard, a qualified welder. She can answer all your questions on welding. And I asked her one, can she weld sticks? And she said, only if the metal sticks. So there you go. I'd rather have a Streetwise than that thing, says Pingu Concord. It has 2 scissor doors, but nowhere obvious for the passenger's head to go. I mean, why would you need one? There's no hope for me, says Pingu. It reminds me of a dinky toy I had in the 70s from my uncle in the 50s. Yeah, it is kind of block shaped, isn't it? I'm just sick of SUVs. Nobody uses them as sports utility vehicles. It's laughable. Yeah, that's true. That is the definition, isn't it? Sports utility vehicle. And yeah, they get the idea of sports utility vehicle is supposed to be like slinging your surfboard on roof or driving into some woods somewhere where you can go trekking. I think that's the right way of saying it, rather than going for a walk. Everybody's going trekking. Oh, at weekend I went down to Lancet and we went trekking through Lancet woods and stuff. What you mean you went for a walk? Yeah, I went for a walk. Lee Neal says, no white men in those ads either. Which one are we on about? Can you show Pac-Man characters on your car, Simon? It's amazing. Oh, you can show Pac-Man characters on your car, Simon. It's amazing. Yes, on the Civic, on that little display screen in the middle, you can upload pictures. So you can pick from 3 different ones at a time. So at the moment, I've got Pac-Man, SpongeBob, and Patrick doing the Batman and Robin run towards the camera thing. I can't remember what the other one. Oh, I think the other one might be Red Bull, because Honda sponsored Red Bull, didn't they, for a while? Arun is here. Greetings, Arun. I'm pretty sure most people who bought, say, a Morris Marina or Ford Cortina just wanted a car with space for the family and was comfortable rather than the driving experience. Well, I don't know, Arun, because specifically the Cortina, you did get sports versions of the Cortina, didn't you? So not obviously you had the Lotus Cortina variants, but you also had the GTs, and the GTs were set up to be a more sporty version. In fact, Ford are one of those companies that have always done a sportier version of the run-of-the-mill car on there. What was the other one you said? The Morris Marina. I mean, there was the Morris Marina Coupe, so that's not specifically family friendly, because it's got a weird shaped shape to it. So I think there's always going to be, and I might be wrong because I can't think of all the cars, but I think there's always been sporty varieties of family cars. That's where the whole touring car scene came from, isn't it? And specifically the British touring car scene has been a very lucrative and popular series. Yeah, and that is a good thing to, if you want to get into any sort of motorsport, touring cars is quite a good one. The British touring car season and championship, because not only is it's not overly expensive to go to watch a race, and the other races that they have, as in sort of backup races, are really good as well. I can't remember what we're on when we went. I think there was Porsche racing. There was the British touring cars, and they have like 2 rounds in a day. Oh, there was Mini Cup. Mini Cup was racing. So you always get quite a good. Oh, was it Ginetta? It might have been Ginetta actually, not Porsche. You always get a good selection of races throughout the day. Yeah, I don't think they do Cadwell anymore because it's a bit narrow. But Donington's a really good track for watching them. As I think, because I've only been once, Brands Hatch would be. So actually, Pingu, we should arrange for a time to go and visit you while there's a race on at Brands Hatch, and we'll spend a day at the races, but not the same races that you have to wear a silly hat for. But maybe we'll just wear silly hats anyway. But yeah, there you go, and welcome, everyone. I drive my HRV in a sporty manner and utilise its capacious load area with flat folding rear seats to carry large things and bodies. Hey, oh dear. Does your HRV have the magic rear seats, Pingu, like the Civic does? I thought today was Saturday too. It isn't. It's just a Friday. My dad bought a 1969 Renault 16 in the early 70s because he had recently bought a holiday home in France. Oh, and had 3 kids and needed a larger car than a Volkswagen Beetle and a French car. Yeah, there's always ones of those. I quite like Beetles because French mechanics were more familiar with French cars than British ones. This is true. This would have been true in the time. But I suspect there's lots of crossover nowadays. The last time we were in France, I did see 2 Rovers. I saw a Rover 75. That was outside a shopping mall, so that was a daily driver. And I saw a Rover, was it 45 or a 400? It was a 400. I saw a Rover 400. Not the R8 one, the other one. I don't know what they called that one. In a car park. And that was nice as well. We had a Renault 16, says Simon, to a run. And then a run asks when. It's in mid to late 80s. I passed on Tuesday, says Simone. The Aylesbury Mafia currently has hope. All donations towards a ransom, MOT, are greatly appreciated. Yes, Hope is going through what we shall call her transition period. Let me just open my crisps quietly. In fact, I'll put an advert on while I open my crisps, just so it doesn't annoy people. Where are we? Oh, hang on, there's an interesting one. Here we go. I'm not eating crisps. Run says, I'm buying a new car tomorrow. Good luck with it. It's always fun. I always find the chase is more exciting than the ownership. Unless it's something that needs work. Udrid says, don't forget to poke the like button. I mean, you can if you want. I have a GT rear axle in my Cortina, says Simone. I'd be interested to know what the difference is. Is there a different ratio diff on it? There must be some differences for it to be classed as a GT, not just a standard one. The Marina GT came in saloon as well. There you go. I didn't even know they were a Marina GT. I thought it was just like a standard one, but with coupe. And my Cortina has gallons of room inside. They don't really make two-door family cars anymore. That is true. That is true. Sterling Moss raced the Standard 10 for a while. Did he win? How long will it be before I can buy a 2019 Tesla Model 3 for under 2K? I don't think it'll. I think cars like that will never get to that stage. Because I think the problem is, could be completely wrong on this, but my take on it is Tesla and that kind of car, because they've got a brand attached to them, they're very unlikely to dip particularly low anyway. But because of the way they're designed and built, they're just going to have a finite shelf life. The only time that a Tesla is going to get scrapped or be worth very little is if it's been in a crash, in which case you don't want to touch it. I'm pretty sure they're all bonded together, so welding's out of the question. Or two, the battery becomes defunct, and it'll cost more. It'll cost more to replace the battery because it'll be a different technology. It's just that's just the way they're all going at the moment. It's quite sad, really. But they remember the Tesla Roadster that they did, that was apparently really bad. I'd have one of them for a piss about thing. That'd be a bit of a laugh. But I'm sure they only did like 120 miles or something. It's the same. You get to the same problem when you start looking at cars to enjoy being electric. You get the same problem with electric motorcycles. That you've got an electric motorbike, and it's always heavier than a standard petrol bike. But if you forget that, it's got the performance and it looks cool. But then you've got a range limit, and the bikes are normally quite a low range on them. And that just leads to the point then that I can jump on my bike. Literally, I can jump on it and go for a ride round, and I might only be out an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever I fancy. But if I just carry on going, I know for a fact that when I get low on fuel, I can just go and refuel it and then carry on going. As if I had an electric bike, I'd be curtailed to that small 120-mile trip or whatever it is. And if I wanted to go further, I'd have to plan on stopping somewhere to charge it up and then doing something while it's charging up. And that's not really for me. That's not really that doesn't gel well with bike life. Bike life to me is you jump on a bike and you just bugger off somewhere. You just disappear. The road is yours, and it just clears your mind. But if you're jumping on the bike and you're off somewhere and the road is yours and you're trying to clear your mind, but at the same time you're having to work out where you're going so you can charge your bike up so you can get back, completely annihilates the point of it to me. I can smuggle you into Brands Hatch. Don't chop my arms and legs off. Two-door estate cars look awesome. They do. I agree. I think that's Matt saying that he'd quite like to buy Ramey's Triumph Herald off him. No magic seats, but did have some magic fungus. Oh. Now, in case anybody was wondering, the magic seats in the Civic. So the back seats, for a start, the rear doors open to nearly 90 degrees, which is an advantage. But say this is your back seat, you've got your bottom bit and you've got your top bit here. Now, obviously, you can put this top bit down, bloop, then you've got the boot and the top of the seats are one level thing. But on the Civic, you can also lift this bit up and clip it down, and it means where the bottom of the back seat is, you've got a massive gap, so you can fit big stuff in it that way. And I have used it, but it's not magic. I got another Japanese Saturn game in the post today. Tell us what it is, Simone. Got a gearbox in my 10 Graunchy top, and third to second to first. Ooh, Graunchy. I mean, Graunchy is quite cool. Well, this is a bit random. The 16, I assume he's talking about the Renault 16, was a favourite of mine as a kid. The Corgi Tour de France one with a cameraman on it and 2 bikes, I believe. Corgi made dreams. Yeah, it's true, like. I mean, if I look at Hot Wheels nowadays, I'm looking at them as an adult. I'm not looking at them as a kid anymore. And as an adult, I think, God, there's a load of garbage in here. It's just stuff with bright colours on it. But as a kid, that's what kids maybe like. I remember as a kid, I was a Matchbox kid, not a Hot Wheels kid. And my favourite car I had was a little Ferrari. I can't remember what it was, 356 or something. And I adored that car. It was that kind of orangey red colour. Like cream interior, I think. I think it was cream. Anyway, this friend of mine stood on it once when we were playing with it and flattened wheels. He like literally slid down this concrete slope, stood on it. So that got ruined. So I bought another one, but this one had got racing decal paint on it. It was like Pioneer or something. And it was just never the same. It was just never the same. So as a kid, I liked the standard looking stuff, not the bejazzled type stuff, as you might put it. I actually saw a 2014 Tesla Model S driving past me today. It would be interesting to meet the kinds of guy to own a 10-year-old Tesla. Probably the ones with the deep pockets, but yeah, definitely. Oh, hang on. Simon's on about something. He went to the scrapyard and then it was bought and used in a hit and run. Police came knocking at our house. Oh, it must be on about his Renault 16. Simon, I think it does have a higher ratio, yes. I think the engine is GT2 but has a low compression. So yes, Simone's got a Pinto in TC. And I think you're right. So if it's got a lower compression, have they put different con rods in it then? Elon Musk is very unpopular at the moment. Many people don't want to buy a car from his company. The problem with that, Arun, is that half the country do want to buy a car from his company, and the half that do are the rich half, it seems. It's bonkers. Pingu advises us. You can get a Porsche Cayenne for 102k nowadays. I remember the first time I saw one of them, and I thought, that's disgusting. That is literally a disgusting blob of a car. How dare Porsche make such a high up, wobbly monstrosity? They're going to go under making crap like that. And then lo and behold, in a few years' time, everybody's chuffing making them. I can't believe there's a Lotus SUV, a Maserati SUV, a blooming Rolls-Royce SUV, a Lamborghini SUV. The list goes on. What is an Alfa Romeo SUV? What are they doing? What are they doing? You've got a brand. Instead of concentrating on that brand and making cars that are relevant to that brand, they're just chasing sales from people that actually, at the end of the day, they don't give a flying monkeys about that brand. It's just a car with a name on it. And I bet those exact same people that buy a Porsche Cayenne or bought a Porsche Cayenne, if Porsche had come out with a just like a normal family car, they did do one, didn't they? I can't remember what it was called. Just a normal family car, but with a Porsche name on it. They'd have bought that as well. What's this obsession with SUVs? Rob says to Arun, your Bora will outlive most of the Teslas currently on the road. Porsche Taycan value has plummeted. Oh, which one's that? Maybe that's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, it is. Should we have a look at what prices are? Let's have a look. Oh, they're electric, them ones. Right, let's share this screen. We'll look at prices of Porsches. Because there's nothing better than on a Friday evening to look at cars you can't afford. Here we go. Right. Right, should we just go for... Where's the show everything thing? Maximum... Maybe I need to go back to this. Right, used cars. Oh. Right then, let's have a look. So Porsches. What year shall we say? From 2000 to give them a fair crack. From 2000, and we'll just put it on. We'll just put it on lowest to highest. So let's have a look. So a Porsche Cayenne, £1,495. So these are, there's a Boxster there for 2,300. To be honest, I quite like a Boxster. Oh my God, look at that. Jesus. What is going on? Who in the right mind would buy one of them? There's quite a few Boxsters for cheapish, isn't there? But let's see where we get to when we get to an actual usable. I think they're all going to be Boxsters and Cayennes. This might have been a bad idea. I like Boxsters. I see a Taken like 47 grand. Right, let's put some more filters in so we can actually see stuff that's relevant. So is there a number of doors bit? Doors. Well, it needs to have at least 4 doors, doesn't it? Oh, it's just going to be loads of these bloody Cayenne things again, isn't it? They are really cheap. I assume because they're crap and cost a fortune. Oh, what's that one? That's a Cayenne as well. They are horrible, aren't they? Right, let's see if we can limit it down even more. Oh, what's one of them? Oh, is that just like a newer Macan? Weird. Well, I'm bored of doing that now. But then, yeah, you can get cheap Porsches. I don't mind Boxsters. Apparently, the front of a Boxster is the same as a 911 or whatever the current one was. It's just the engine and the bits from the bulkhead back that are different. I believe the Tesla now, the emphasis being SS. If I ever buy an electric car, I'll buy a 2019 Tesla Model 3 in 2035 and run it as a banger. In fact, let's share screens again. Let's have a look at Teslas, see what we can see. Right, we'll just go for lowest price. There's a Model S for 11 grand. I think it's a Model 3 that one of my parents' neighbours has got. It's bloody horrible. Oh my God, look at that. That's disgusting colour. Right, let me see if we can... I'm sure it's a Roadster that I will like him for. What? How are they so expensive? How are they 120 grand? Well, that's very peculiar. I thought they'd be dead cheap now. How wrong I was. The only cheap Tesla is the one that's been wrecked. I know there's loads of that garbage here at work. We receive them pre-stripped, no screen, no batteries. Oh. It would be cool to experience some of Elon's madness. There is a lot of crazy stuff, isn't there? Yeah. To be honest, I've never driven an electric car. And I've said it before, the concept of electric drive is fantastic. There's no problem with electric drive. It's less maintenance. You've got torque right from 0 revs. It's quieter and it's more efficient. It's a fantastic drive system. The problem is the batteries. That's the problem. Why would anybody want a Tesla after what Elon did with his hand gestures? It's very strange. He's a very strange character from what I can tell, Elon Musk. It's just a flipping weird situation altogether. I don't quite understand the psyche of what's happening in America right now. And I mean, I understand what Mr. Trump's trying to do by getting all these tech giants around him. I mean, that isn't a daft plan from a President Trump point of view. It's not very good for anybody else involved, but from a President Trump point of view, it's not a bad plan. But there's a reason why there's a stereotype about billionaires being irresponsible and narcissistic. And it's not because stereotypes are normally based on facts. That doesn't mean that everybody fits into the stereotype, but stereotypes come around because of a trend. And I mean, there's two things in this world that people strive for. One of them's money, and the other one is power. Now they tend to come hand in hand to a certain point, but when it comes to politics, you can't, to a certain degree, buy your way into power. But what you can do, if you're already a successful trillionaire tech giant, is you can influence someone that's in power to give you some power by being their best buddy. So then you've got the two main things that give you meaning, or you think they give you meaning: money and power. And then you're gonna I've got a feeling that things are going to get out of hand. Trey Sharpish. If it was anybody else, I'd think things are going to get out of hand and they're going to regret the decisions. But I think that if things do get out of hand, Trump will just deny that he had anything to do with it. He just seems to have this ability to just completely say the opposite of what's going on and think that people will believe what he's on about. Mental. Where did we get to? I don't like Tesla's or Elon, but I want to buy one as a banger because Elon is a controversial person. Kind of like buying a Mercedes 770K or a KDF Beetle. Imagine banger racing a Tesla. God, imagine having to try and make it keep charge. It would burst into flames with thermal runaway. I've got a Top Gear magazine from 2017 about the launch of the Tesla 3, the Model 3 Tesla. They've apologised at least. Don't forget Ford and GM made trucks for the German war effort too. There's lots of stuff. I think it's harder and harder when you look into the nitty-gritty of things to separate business and war. No matter where the war is and who the businesses are, there's always going to be some bleed into either camp from there. There could be a Tesla banger race in Oxford city centre. Aside from the anti-car brigade going mad on their bikes, the bonfire would look lovely against the Cotswold stone. It would do, wouldn't it? And I'm sure the charring would produce quite a nice contrast as well. I've got an orange Renault 16 toy. Cookie finds this live very soothing. So let's just go. Cookie, you all right, Cookie? Oh, look at that little face. Oh, it's all mudgy. Cookie's a cat, by the way. I'm not talking to a person like that. The game is called D. No Shotakino. Never heard of that one. Sounds interesting though. Henry Ford got an Iron Cross. I'll shut up on the subject now. Oh, Simone called me Simone. We're not the same person, Simone, even though our names are very similar and our birth dates are very similar. And our interests are very similar. And we wear the same bra size. The new Tesla Model Y came out today. It looks like a Hyundai. I had a discussion the other day on a chat. I can't remember when it was. That Hyundai are doing some nice styling cues on the cars, even though the cars themselves, I'm not fussed about. If I'm sure Hyundai did a prototype that were quite cool. Sorry, Hyundai. Let me see if I can find it before I share screen. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, it's not that one. What's it called? Oh, it is that one. I don't think it's that one I'm thinking of. Bear with me. Oh yeah, this is it. I'll share screens. It's the Hyundai Pony concept. Here we go. Look. Now, I like that. I do like that because it looks like an actual car. Notice how the lights are made up from a little light grid. That's quite cool. And look at the backlights. See, this to me, this looks like an 80s car, but for a modern world. And I like that about this one. I mean, look at that silhouette. Who wouldn't want that? That's like a GT car. Is there any pictures of it inside, or is it just a rendering? Oh, is that it? Okay, that's it. There we go. So yeah, I kind of like that. Bugger off EV adverts. I kind of like that one. Was given a 1982 Honda CX500 Turbo motorcycle by a customer. Oh my god. Yes. The new Tesla Model Y is a light bulb. I was always for the standard family models as a kid. Still am now, but like racing bikes, pedal too. Loads of Teslas on our estate. I think we have the oldest car around here. No, I think the piston rings are knackered when Simone's referring to TC's low compression. She has a confession. She likes the Porsche Panamera. Don't know what that is. Oh yeah. I don't mind that. At least it's got a proper engine in it. Although there is a small one and a big one. There's a 2.9 litre V6 and a 4 litre V8. But I'm not going to show anybody, they can look for themselves. We used to chase fancy cars like rollers down the street on our choppers. They were rare then. Even remember a yellow Rover SD1, the day they came out, looked like a starship. Yeah, they do. To be honest, the SD1 has been a bit under my radar, to be honest. There seems to be things like SD1s and I can't remember what the other example was. Seems to be specific Rovers that everybody loves, but they kind of pass me by a little bit. Have I ever known anybody with an SD1? I don't think I have. A friend of mine's dad used to have a P6, and I remember that being cool. And his mum had a Beetle, so that's kind of like my garage there. Oh, and they had the Beetle wings repainted red, so it was a white Beetle with red wings, and I think the indents on the bonnet were red as well. It's kind of cool. Is Stoney teaching Tony how to stunt? Possibly. Although I doubt it, because Tony's sort of like a professional actor, isn't he? And Stoney's just a stunt coconut who has his day in the videos that was shot for at Rob's unit the other day. So there is I shot so much nonsense that's going to take ages to edit, but it'll be worth it. There's going to be a war film and everything. There's a rare 1998 Daewoo for sale on Cars and Classics for under 900 quid. See, they're the things that people should be snapping up, as well as, and I've said this for the past few years, and then I sold mine. MGFs and TFs. They are the things that if you find a good one, snap it up now, or if you've got space, buy a rough one, but that's not too rough, and keep it and improve it, because they're going to be worth. Oh, in about 80 years' time, they'll be worth a fortune. Three doors down has a Tesla company car. Had a polyester or something before that. Polestar, I think he's referring to. What's the cheapest Tesla Model 3 available? I'm way past that now. Apologies, Aaron. Don't think Porsche 4x4s can ever be more than a frocked up VW. Yeah, I agree. Don't forget the 924s are available for under 500 quid for a long one. Yeah, I like the 924s. Is it the 944 as well? To be honest, they are a nice car. When it comes to older cars like that, it's more about to me, it's more about the insides, the environment that you find yourself sat in. In fact, let me think about the cars that I've got, and let me do a comparison to see what it is about those I like. So the ZS, the insides are pretty cheap and nasty. but it handles really well, and I love the diesel pull. I love the torque of a diesel engine. So for that one, for the ZS, to me, it's the chuckability of it and the loutishness. It is a pretty loutish car because it just chucks loads of torque at you, and then you have to change gear, and it chucks loads more at you, and it goes around corners. It's so grippy. You can fire yourself out of corners really well in it. So it's a bit of a loutish car. And then Gen Z, I mean, the insides are pretty naff at the moment because colours don't match and stuff. But to me, I was saying to my dad the other day, I said, "Dad," and he said, "What, son?" And I said, you know how people really like Fords and Ford Escorts and Ford Fiestas?" And he says, "Yes, son, they do, don't they?" And I went, "Yeah, they do, and it's really silly how much money they'll pay for them, really, because you can get a Ford Fiesta S1600 or one of early XR2s, and you're paying a fortune for them, aren't you, Dad?" He says, "Yes, you are, son. I don't know where it all started, this fast forward malarkey. You can pay a fortune for fast forwards, and they're not even that exciting." And I said, "I know, Dad. That's my point. That this little Rover that cost me 350 quid, plus whatever else I've thrown at it, to me, it's far nicer than any of them bloody Fords. Like, you wouldn't get a Ford Fiesta as nice as this on the inside, and it's not a slouch, and it certainly sounds better than most of them Fords as well. It's weird." And he said, "Yeah, I agree, son. It's a nice little car, this." So there you go. There's a little insight into a drive out we had. Oh, I apologise. I'm quite behind in the comments. Tommy Hanlon is here, and he says, "Evening, Simon. Hello, everybody." Evening, Tommy Hanlon. Let's put an advert on. Which one should we have? This one. Oh, no. What about this one? This one. In memory of Shrimpies. Alex will know what I mean.
Oh yeah, alright. Check it out now. I'm here to tell you all about the Shrimpies. Alright. Check it out. Shrimpies, the name is relevant. They're coming at you like a poacher at an elephant, breaking the food chain of life. With cruelty-free food you can cut with a knife. Yes, I said cruelty-free. It's better for you and it's better for me to eat without the pain. Without the pain, let's hear that name again. Shrimpies, stick 'em on your plate. Shrimpies, serve 'em up for your mate. Shrimpies, they taste divine. Shrimpies, get your fuck off mine. Shrimpies, the name is relevant. Coming at you like a poacher at an elephant. Listen to the groove. Word up, yo. Peace to your mother and any other relatives you have. Aye.
Yeah, Shrimpies. Remembering Shrimpies. Where do you get up to? Everybody's saying hello to Tommy Hanlon, which they should be. People should always say hello to Tommy Hanlon. Yeah, Pingu offers judge your choice of 3 cars. I know which one I'd pick out of them, Pingu, because I've got a set of front and rear lights for one already. Gaz says red wine makes me opinionated, so bear with me tonight. Hoping it doesn't mean 4 trips across the landing like beer does later. Ocracy. Hopefully just a blip in the USA's history. Before we all become history. Yes. My cousins in LA have a Tesla. Is it LA where there's just been all them fires that run? I hope they're all right. And my mum's friends in London have 3. Jeebus. There's going to be a revolution in the UK and Simone will lead the nation to a new era. Go on, Simone. It's a very good question. I'd look at what they look like and maybe I'd go for the Peugeot 306 just to be cliche French, but I need the space and money to look after it. Oh, Judge, why the hell would you go for the 306 over the Rover 200? Yeah, we were talking about this, Pingu, because we haven't got anywhere to put another car at the moment, and we've got another car coming in, which means I've got to rearrange things. But we have spoken to our mate Kevin about getting a little space in his near his workshop to put something. So that'd be quite useful for me. If that comes to fruition, I can store a car up there. My dad had a 1996 Peugeot 306, a diesel one. I like diesel. There's something about diesels. Ever since I had my Fabia VRS, I thought, yeah, diesels are really nice. And then I got rid of that and got a Ford Fiesta 1.6. And even though it was fun to drive, you had to rev it to get anything out of it. And it's the same with Civic. I don't know why I didn't go for diesel ones, to be honest. They just never. I think there were only Skoda that really did sporty diesel things, didn't they? I'd have another Fabia VRS Mark 1 in a heartbeat. Cookie has now gone to see Sputnik. Wow, Arun remembers number plates. The only one I can remember is one from a Micra that my mum and dad had, A649 AWJ. Don't ask me why I can remember that one and not any of the others. Was it A659? A659 AWJ. I'm sure that was it. I just remember, actually, maybe the reason is because AWJ, my dad's name's Alan and my mum's name's Janice, so it could be Alan with Janice. Don't ask me what my first car registration number, I can't remember any of them. Even when I'm driving, even if I have to, like when I've gone stayed in hotels for meetups and stuff, and there's always that thing, oh, put your car registration on this thing. I can never bloody remember what it is. I also have to take a photo of car before I go into hotel lobby so I can look at it. I've got a video of our 306 running for the last time. I'll send photos, but I will send photos of each one to Simon's WhatsApp for your appraisal. Anyone need a 1994 Hyundai Excel hatchback? Wow, this DC Stephen S. Paul gets all these cool cars, but yeah, they're a bit too far away. Oh, Simone says almost 700 subs. Have I? I'll have to have a look. Oh, look at this modern technology using two digital devices at once. I know OG has been saying it's been going up. Oh yeah, 682. I don't know why. I don't know why it'd go up. Gas says my dad later got a 2.6 SD1. Spent more time being fixed than earning a living. It's up to for a 1.1 Allegro, and I ended up with it. I like Allegros. If you're a fan of very, very nice looking Allegros with a certain je ne sais quoi, there may be one for sale in a few months. I have a 67 Rover P6 manual. See, I need to even advertise my bike, but once that's gone, I've got a short list. And a P6, a P4 are on the short list. The Beetles on the short list. I can't remember what else I put on the short list. There is a short list. Oh, Marina Coupe or Saloon. Yeah, there is some stuff on there. It's his advertising campaign, Simone. His subs are flying up. It is. It's all thanks to Stickman TV. Stickman TV is the one and only resource. Any young budding entrepreneur just needs to contact Stickman TV and say, "No, then, fella, will you mention my channel on your live streams?" And he gets all sorts of people flying into sub. Try finding a running Mark 1 Escort 1100 for 5k. That is crackers. I remember when. Oh, what did I buy? I think it was before I got my first MG ZR. The uproad from my mum and dad's. They were an old fella. Can't remember what his name were. And it must. I don't know whether it was his that he bought as a runaround or whether it were his sons that his son had done up and then just wanted to get rid of. But it was a Mark 3 Escort 1.1, but it had got the full XR3 body kit on it, so it looked really nice. Style-wise, it was a bit of a shed, but it was just like a tiny little engine and stuff. But it were lowered. I remember it was lowered. It had got them telephone dial type wheels on it. It was silver. It looked really nice. I really wish I'd bought it. And I think at the time I was like, oh no, it's too much of a shed. But I was like, oh, why did I not get that? Why did I not get that? I ended up getting an MG ZR in Starlight Silver. Mark 1, 105 spec. And thinking back, I think it got the Mark 1 spoiler on it as well, the early spoiler where it's like the main spoiler and then the other bit of spoiler and there's no fixing in between it. It was a nice car, that. Poor little thing got so abused by me. I drove that like Matt drives Hope, actually. So, Matt, remind me of that. Next time I complain or mention to you that you're revving Hope like super hard and driving her super hard, just say, Simon, do you remember that Starlight Silver ZR you had? And then I'll shut up. A friend of mine had one in the 70s and 80s. He kept it in his garden. Could have been a large London house with money. Ooh. I like the Porsche 968. Should have bought one 5 years ago before the price has trebled. I would honestly get a Boxster. I really do like Boxsters. And I do like the idea of owning a Porsche. And I would have a 924 or a 944 as well. I mean, what I'd really like, if there was no sort of limit, so to speak, is I'd have a Lotus XL. I remember the one my dad had. He's had an Elite and a Clat and an XL. He's had a couple of 2+2 Elans as well. But the XL that it had, to me, is the sort of like definitive era Lotus that I really like. In fact, I liked the Eclat as well. Is it the Eclat or was it the Elite? Might be in the Elite. A big GT type car. Everything inside it would just, again, it's going back to when you get an old car, to me now, it's not about the performance of it, it's about what it's like to be inside it. And that was just, you sat in there and you knew you were in something special. Everything was sculptured. It was a massive chunk of display. I can't remember whether it was the Elite or the XL that had got, instead of having this centers section, like where you'd have your heater controls and stuff, instead of having it backlit, there was a little light on the ceiling, on the roof, that shone a beam of light down, and you could focus it. So it focused on that sort of center console, and it was kind of just like a small glow, but it lit it up. It was really cool. It was like you'd got a slight moonbeam shining on it. Yeah, I really liked that, and that is one thing I would have if I had the pennies, or one of those modern Elans, the front engine, front wheel drive ones. Yeah, I quite like Lotus. I'm a big Lotus fan, if you hadn't noticed. Pingu Concord put some animals there. Let's have this elephant thing on, if I can find it. Here we go. Gazan Track says he had 67 TC2000 for a while. Got shut the week he put 100 quid of petrol in just for work. Yeah, when I was talking to my dad about Rover P4s for some specific reason the other day, he told me he'd had. Now then, was it an Austin Farina or something? And he went to see one of his friends one day, and his friend had got a Rover P4 105S. And my dad were like, "Oh, that's a lovely car. That's very luxurious, and it's big and lovely. Oh, that's a very nice car." And his friend were like, "It's a bit big for me. I'm after something smaller." So my dad said, "Well, I'm driving an Austin Farina or whatever. I can't remember what it was specifically." And this guy went, "Well, do you want to swap?" And my dad were like, "What? You want to swap your P4 for my Austin Farina or whatever it was?" He's like, "Yeah." So my dad were like, "Yeah, all right then." So they swapped. And my dad had that. My dad had the Rover 105S for P4 105S for, I think he said 2 weeks, and he ran out of petrol twice in it. And it was just costing him so much in fuel that he thought, "I've got to get rid of this." And then one of his other friends came over to see him, and his friend was like, "Oh, whose is that? A car? Have you seen that down there?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's mine." He's like, "Oh, what a lovely car that is! It's so luxurious. What a lovely looking thing." And my dad was like, "Yeah, I'm looking to get something else." And he's like, "Oh, do you want to swap it for my car?" My dad's like, "What have you got?" And I think it were a Ford Angular, I think it were. Like the Harry Potter style one. Whatever that one was. And he said, "Oh, it were a bit rusty around headlights. Like they were literally just bits of metal holding headlights in and stuff. But the rest of it were all right." So he swapped it. So he swapped a big nice Rover P4 with twin carbs. For a tiny little Ford, because he couldn't afford to keep it running. Poor thing. Anyway, there you go. Not big isn't always best. Your Micro was gold, and it's been untaxed since '95. It was gold, and I remember it. It had a speaker and a radio in it, so there weren't even any speakers it back. It was like literally one central mounted speaker in it. But I do remember the front seats being really cool. Like Japanese seats always are, they're really high. It was really nice. I would love an Allegro. I would love an Allegro. Says Simone, but I don't have the money. I know the feeling. After the 1.1 Allegro, I got a Vanden Plough 1500. The trick was, 86ism here, to get the bird in it before she saw it and convince her it was a Jag from the wood and the leather. Yeah, they had little trays, didn't they, on the back seats with little glass holes for the glasses to go in and stuff. Movie night. It's like book club, but for movies. You're right. it is indeed like Book Club for Movies. Yes, me and Matt, and hopefully Dave, Crap Car Hunter, will be doing another film review tomorrow. So I need to remember, Matt, to put them films on a flash drive so we can choose between them. So what I'll do again is I'll put the movies on a flash drive, but I'll also bring one of them crappy DVDs with them Japanese kung fu movies on. I might actually space it out so we do one of the crap ninja movies and then a different crap ninja movie, and then one of the spliced together crap ninja movies again, just to see what you think. I hope Dave can make it. It'll be fun. I'm trying to think what else we can do. Yeah, let me know on Messenger what time as well. Don't tell Julie, but I think we should get a takeout for dinner or something, or tea, depending on what you call it. I call it tea. A lot of people call it dinner. A judge calls it dinner. But yeah, we'll make it around dinner / tea time, and yeah, we'll have some nice takeout or something while we watch a crap film. Maybe we'll watch 2 crap films. Who knows? We're not kids anymore. We don't have a bedtime. Can anyone see the funny shape next to my head when Simon puts my comments on the big screen? The funny shape next to your head. I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, do you mean the YouTube thing? Because Pingu has a YouTube channel, and he's done quite a few cool little things. Like he does shorts explaining how you do certain mechanical things, and they are quite useful. He's more to the point than me. I just waffle on for ages, talking nonsense, and then when I actually start doing the work, 9 times out of 10, I'm stood in front of the camera and you can't see what I'm doing anyway. And that's why diesel motors got popular. Exactly. I think that's my flipper, by the way. Oh yeah, it could be. I see what you mean now. Supper time for Gaz. Well, I think I've waffled on for quite enough for a random live. So yes, thank you for joining on such short notice. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, leave a comment, share with your friends, and also put in the comments anything you want me to talk about on these lives. As I said, I just randomly started this one because I'd just done a video and I thought, yeah, it's cool. So yeah, so I suppose I should tell you about the video, really, shouldn't I? So when we met up at Rob's unit the other weekend, it wasn't last weekend, was it? Was it the weekend before? Time's going so fast already. I did a couple of car reviews. It was 2, weren't it? Yes, 2 car reviews. So, well, they're not really reviews. They were more just experiences. So I drove Simon Easton's Triumph Dolomite, which is a lovely little thing called Dolly. And I've done a video of that. So that'll be some experience. I'm quite pleased about how I've done it. I've kind of done it in 3 parts. It's sort of like a first bit, and then there's an interlude in the middle, and then there's the last bit. So I quite like that one. So that one is going to be live for members now, but live for not members in, I think it's next Saturday, I think. And I did a drive and sort of, again, it's not really a review because I feel when I do car reviews, they're not really reviews because I don't really talk about the technicalities of the car and the facts and figures of them. I just talk about my feelings about them and what I think to certain aspects of them. So yeah, if you're ever looking for details on cars, forget my channel. Useless for that sort of stuff. If you want to know how I feel about a car and what it reminds me of and what experience I'm getting out of that car, then yeah, definitely. I'm all about touchy-feely stuff.
Yes, I did a Marina as well. I did Alex's Marina. And then next time Mr. Beards and Mangers himself finds himself thrust up north, I'll be test driving one of his Batmobiles. So yes, there we go. So don't forget to check that out. Thank you for joining. All that jazz. I finished my crisps now. It's 20 to 11, so I'm going to say good night. Thank you for joining again. Happy birthday, everyone. See Stephen S. Paul. Yes, there you go. Thank you very much. And I think there's a video that plays out automatically at the end now. I can't remember which one it is, but enjoy it and take care. Bye. It's Wallace and Gromit wave, that, by the way. If you ever see, when you see me do that, it's not just random. That's the Wallace and Gromit wave. If you ever watch Wallace and Gromit, that's how they wave. Bet you stoked to know that.
Well, hello. Well, hello. Well, hello. Well,